Welcome to Mug Decision. This is Mug talking, and today we have our second Master Guard here in the channel. The first one was with Han Solo Yellow, and now we have the Vader Yellow, the Vader Swarm. And I did won a Planetary qualifier yesterday, so I'm training with this deck like for a month and spamming this in Petronac and playing here in the weeklies and did great results with it. So I think I am a good player talk about it to make a great deck tech and this master guide. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So let's start here. Why Vader? Because Vader had one of the best abilities of leaders, because you can just create a unit, a 1/1. I know it is just 1/1, but it is a unit for free. I know it have the condition you need to attack with a vehicle, and this is good because a non-token vehicle, and this is good because it's not only space tuned, so you can build a deck when in the ground if you want with a vehicle. And Vader should be weird, but yes, you can do this. But you're just creating a unit token 1/1 for free, so this is really amazing because you can now you have a unit to attack. You can put an upgrade on it. You can put a pilot. You have a unit to avoid the Path of the Dark Side, to avoid merciless contest, to trigger coordinating kind of stuff. So this is amazing. So Swarm is hard to handle, and yes, Swarm is really hard to handle. We don't have too many cards that wipe the board. Like we already had Super Lazy Blade, but it's too late game. We have Bombing Run that is a cost 5. Sometimes not that good to pay 5 for just do this. So most of the decks don't know how to handle this. They don't even have something to handle the Swarm. And if you have like 1 or 2 vehicles from turn 1 and your opponent can't defeat in the turn 2, you probably will have a huge Swarm until turn 4 or turn 5 because your opponent can't stop you. So it's really hard to handle this. Vader is one of the best pilot leaders because for sure is the leader with more status because it's +5/+5. This is a lot. Like if we can see cost 6 units that is don't is 5/5, you know, and this is just giving +5/+5. So this is too much. When you put this in the TIE Phantom, now you have a 7/7 with Raid 2, so that can't be defeated by enemies' card's ability, so it's really hard to handle TIE Phantom, and we're going to talk about this later. So yeah, Darth Vader is really good, and you can deploy even if you only have 1 space unit, and don't be afraid of Path of the Dark Side. Merciless Contest will not trigger, but Path of the Dark Side, because when you deploy Darth Vader, you create 2 tokens, so this is really good because protected Darth Vader from Path of the Dark Side, and you are still creating more units to start in more the Swarm, so it's really good. So yeah, he's cool as fuck, right? So Darth Vader is really cool. Is we can say that he's the main character of the Star Wars. Like I think it's more often like if you ask somebody else that is not a Star Wars fan who is Darth Vader, they will know. But maybe if you ask who is Luke, maybe he doesn't know. Like I think if I ask my mom who is Luke, she probably will not know, but Vader she does. So yes, and the deck is a budget. Like the most expensive card we have here is Sabine and Victor Leader that is cheap. As we can Victor Leader I think it's like $4, so it's really budget, really cheap this deck. So let's start here now with why yellow, because we had the Vader blue, we had the Vader red, even the Vader green, but I don't like too much. But the blue one and the red one is good, but I like the yellow due of tempo while playing units, because you can like buy some time. You can use a tempo cards like Sanctional Shuttle that if you had coordinate, you can capture a cost 3 or less. Or Guardian's Patrol that when played you bounce a cost 3 or less to it on hand. So yeah, it's tempo. You like buying some time, like stopping your opponent. You're not defeating the unit, but you're buying some time. But you're still playing something. Like it's not just an event. Like the blue one, you don't have this yellow thing that is the tempo cards that is units. So in the blue one, you use like takedown. And in the red one, you use open fire. So if you want to remove your opponent to buy some time, you need to spend your resources and events. So you will not play units, and this deck needs units to have to consistent have in with this Swarm, right? So this is really good. yellow events. So yeah, not just the tempo thing, we have the yellow events that is tempo sometimes, like Waylay and No Good, that is amazing in this meta, like against Sabine, against aggro decks and kind of stuff. And we have Surprise Strike that gives +3, so I don't even need to explain, this card is amazing, right? And the TIE Phantom for sure. The blue one and the red one don't have the TIE Phantom, that is probably one of the best space units till now, because it's a 2-2, like 4-2 because have Raid 2. And this unit can't be captured, damaged, or defeated by enemy card ability. So this is insane. When you deploy Vader and TIE Phantom, it's really, really hard for your opponent to win this match. So now let's continue here. And as you can see here, this is my historic, like my matches from yesterday in the PQ. And I played round 1 against Ray Data Vault. I won by 2-1. Round 2, I play against Sabine ECL. I won by 2-0. Round 3 was against, actually was not 2-0 because he had a game loss due of different cards in the sideboard, but yeah. Round 3, I won against Qi'ra 2-0. Round 4 against Quillan Tarketel by 2-1. Round 5 and round 6, I intentional draw. And the top 8, I won against Sabine ECL by 2-1. And we had this match in the live stream. I will put it here in the link here in the description. This match was insane, really, really good. Jamal from São Paulo, he's an amazing player, so yeah. And the top 4, we have the same Qi'ra that I play in the round 3 that I won 2-0, and then the final I won by, it's 2-0 there, but it was 2-1. But yeah, I did 1 by 2-1. We had a situation in the game 3, but I already explained this in another video about PQ. This is not for this. So yeah, and as you can see, I play against like Ray Data Vault, Quinlan, Sabine, and Qi'ra. So it was like 4 different decks, right? And Qi'ra and Sabine is the most playable decks like in the major tournaments right now. And so yeah, we can beat them. So this is good. So now, before I explain about the list, I need to show this. The list that I play in the PQ is not mine, is by this Fidia that made it the 2nd place in this Planetary qualifier in Rome. So yeah, this list is from him. I just have like a slightly difference in the sideboard because I changed for myself, like my style of gameplay. But I play like this with this Zorvidi Yellow for a month ago. Like I was spamming this in Petronaki, and I was testing against all of them, all of the decks, all of the matches to know better about this deck in this meta. And I was testing a lot of lists. And when I found this one, but this Fidia that made the 2nd place, I just tested and it's okay. This list is really, really good. So the main deck is like his list, is not mine. But the sideboard, I made my chance here. And why I like their list is that we had 3 Bazines in the main deck and 3 Luck inside Phantom, and I think this is really, really good in a meta that we have a bunch of Qi'ras out there. So it's more, you can win game 1 more often when you have these 3 Bazines and 3 TIE Phantoms in the main deck. Because in the other list, we have the Bazines in the sideboard and we have TIE Phantoms in the more TIE Phantoms or the 3 TIE Phantoms in the sideboard. But in my testing, I was losing more the game 1 against Qi'ra, and with this one, I started to win more against Qi'ra with this list. So yes. In the sideboard, we're going to talk about later. So this is the other list that I was playing before that one. That this one have Kijimi patrols. I think is the main difference in here. And then for sure we don't have Bazine Natal in the main deck and just 1 TIE Phantom in the main deck. But this list is good. It's not bad at all. And this one have the contracted jump mass in the main deck too. But I think this list is better if your meta is just like Sabines, Quinlans, and more aggro decks and less mid-range and control decks. So yeah, it depends on our local meta for sure. So let's start talking here about why not Kijimi, because the other lists don't have Kijimi, we have Bazine. Because I think the main problem about Kijimi is that it's a cost 2 for 1/1. I know we'll create a token, but we have a problem. We have Quillan in the main in the meta, right? So if you play this Kijimi Patrol turn 1 and Quillan just play like Sabine, we can play a Grogu. We'll just defeat Kijimi Patrollers, and then you can't create another token the next turn because you don't have a non-vehicle token. So you only have a TIE Fighter, so it will not trigger the Darth Vader's ability. So this is bad, but can be worse if like this. If they play this, they just defeat the Kijimi. But can be worse if they play like Green Squadron, because can play Green Squadron, defeat Kijimi Patrollers in the next turn. You don't even can defeat this Green Squadron with your TIE Fighter, so he can just defeat it really easy, so it's hard, you know? So, but it's not that bad, because like against Qi'ras can be good. I think I will explain this in the slideshow later. So here we have Energy Conversion Lab. So it's the same thing like I said about Green Squadron, because your opponent can use Green Squadron with ECL to defeat the Kijimi Patrollers. Then the next turn you only have a TIE Fighter that he can defeat really easy. You can't defeat Green Squadron with damage, so yeah, it's bad, right? But the good thing here about Kijimi Patrol is that you can avoid Power of the Dark Side and Merciless Cons against Qi'ra, against Palpatine, Krennic, and in decks like mid-range and control like Blue Villainy. Because you play this turn 1, is guaranteed that you will avoid Power of the Dark Side and Merciless Cons in the next turn, because you have 2 units and you always will choose TIE Fighter. You want Kijimi Patrollers to attack and create more tokens. But even if you survive, it's just 1 damage, it's like not too much, and it's really easy to defeat because it's 1/1. So yeah, I think this list without it is way better, and I think Bazin do so much better in the deck than Kijimi Patrollers. So now let's talk about the cost 1 units. You have here the TIE Fighters, the First Order TIE Fighter and the TIE LN Fighter. Both is 2/1, but the green one is better because have the rate 1 if you have a token. So this is really good and Vader. Like I don't even need to explain, right? Because if you play like these 2 units turn 1, you attack first with the only black, then you create a token, then you attack with the green one. So now you're attacking for 3. You did 5 damage in turn 2, and you have like 3 units, and you still have 3 resources to play something. So this is a great, right? We have the Republic E-Wing, U-Wing, I think, right? Cost 1, space unit, 1/3. This is good too, because I know it's just 1, but it's 1/3, so can survive for a lot of things that we're going to talk about. Like, because one thing that is really bad to us is Inferno 4. So we're going to talk about this later. Here we have Mining Guild TIE Fighter that is a 1/2. The on attack is really, really good. They save him a lot in specific matches. But the problem here is the HP. But we can fix this with Wingman Victor 2. That is a cost 1 pilot. Then when players an upgrade, you create a TIE Fighter token and it gives +1/+1. So sometimes you have like trick plays that you can play Wingman Victor 2 as a pilot in Mining Guild. So now it's a 2/3, don't dice for Inferno 4 and kind of stuff. Or you can just use this in the Republic U-Wing. Now it's a 2/4, don't die for Green Squadron, or 3/4 units that Sabine's use, Quinlan's use. So this is really good, right? So now cost 2 units. We have only 2. That is Mercenary Gunship, that is really, really good in this deck. You just need to be aware about the action. So you need, if you have Mercenary Gunship, you can't just expand resources till you don't have 4 to pay, because your opponent can just like you use like a barrage, then your opponent, okay, I will take control of this Mercenary Gunship, and you don't have any resources anymore to take it back. So you need to be aware of this, and you always attack first. So if your opponent you spend 4 resources to take control of this, will be exhausted. So this is not that bad for you, but yeah. And Bazin, that is really good. I already said here in the main deck is amazing against control, against Qi'ras, against mid ranges, and not just this. Like Sabine, maybe sometimes you can use it to taking out a Dark Saber or a 4 calls in the late game if you think you're going to lose by it. So yeah, and Mercenary Gunship is really good against Sabine too, because you can play turn 1, and if your opponent wants to use ECL, you will trade, because he doesn't have like units that can defeat Mercenary Gunship and be alive in turn 1. So it's good. Cost 3 units. Now we're going to start the Master guide really here, because I'm going to explain everything about all these cards, why they are here. So here we have Eager Escort Fighter. It's a cost 3 for 1 ambush. This card is really good, and Vader, and why? Because we can defeat Millennium Falcon. So if in turn 2 your opponent play Millennium Falcon, if you had this, you know you're playing against a cunning hero deck, so you might keep this in your hand, because if they play Millennium Falcon, you can just, okay, I'll play this one, defeat Millennium Falcon, so you lose your turn, I lose mine too, but I can create a token, so we're safe, and we still have 2 units from turn 1 maybe, so this is good. Concord down, we can use Eager to defeat Concordat, so we just lose 1 unit, not like 2 or 3 to just defeat 1 Concordat, right? And for sure Red 5, and that all of the 3, 4, and 2/4 units like Eager Escort can defeat another Victor Leader in the mirror match, or the 2/4 Sentinel in space. So this is really, really good. So we have some a trick play here with Eager, because had ambush. So let's pretend our opponent playing Inferno 4. Then you play Mercenary Gunship. For some reason you don't have two cost ones in your hand, then you just play Mercenary Gunship. They took initiative and they play Power of the Dark Side, so you lose Mercenary Gunship. You will not create a token this turn. Now you can play Eager, defeat Inferno 4, and it's still okay. You will trade your Eager, you will got defeated too, but you can create a token with Vader. So we both expand the 2 resources, we both lose units, but I still have a token. So, and I really don't think your opponent will use Power of the Dark Side or Merciless Guns just to defeat a 1/1 token. So you have a board protected now, because if you play another unit and they have like only Power of the Dark Side in hand, they will not use it because you can just choose the token. So yeah, like I showed me here, you can just create a TIE Fighter. Geonosis Patrol Fighter. It is a cost 5, but most of the time it will be a cost 3 because I have exploit 2, and most of the time you're going to use exploit 1. When play, you may return a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less to its owner's hand. And we have a good trick play that I'm going to explain later in this video with this card that is amazing. So most of the times you just will sacrifice a TIE Fighter to play this for 3 resources, and then you can bounce like Sundar Peacekeeper against Rey, against Sabine. We'll have the Millennium Falcons like in Han Solos and another pilot decks that you can just bounce this, and it's really good. And we'll have item version like in, you will not bounce in the item version, but you will bounce units that have like item version as a pilot, like in Gar Saxon. Most of the Gar Saxon want to play like a 2/3 when defeated got heal, or Inferno 4 in turn 1. Then turn 2 play item version as a pilot and have a big unit with shield. If you just play Geonosis Patrols, is amazing, right? Because he will lose like 2 turns doing nothing if you do this. So this is really good. And the same thing for Sanctioned Shuttle is the same thing. I think the only difference here is the status, because this is a 3/2 and this is a 2/3. So you need to be aware, because you can capture all of those things here. But if your opponent like playing with Sundar Peacekeeper, he might play with Blue Leader. So he can play Blue Leader, defeat Sanctioner, take it back Sundar. So you need to be aware of this. Maybe it's better to play first Victor Leader, because when you play Sanctioner Shuttle, now it's a 3/4. Don't die for Blue Leader. You need to be aware of those things. Yeah, and I just spoil here, right? And we have here Death Space Skirmisher. It's a good card because we can exhaust units in the grounds too. So against Sabine is good. You can just wait him to play Dark Save, then you just exhaust if you don't have no good to me that. You can, if you have the initiative and you think, okay, I don't have like Geonosis or the shuttles to capture or bounce now. My opponent he's playing with Qi'ra, so I had initiative. So I think even if he play like Suplex Technician, I can't do some because I don't have the bounce or the capture. So I would just play Skirmisher to exhaust maybe Persian to avoid him to use the ability to place a blast, and to avoid him to draw a card. So not to place the blast, to place Technician, or avoid him to draw a card. Like, or you can just use this to exhaust Inferno 4, so don't lose your turn 1 unit or something like that. That is not that bad, but like it's not what you want to do in this specific match. But if he's the only play, it's not that bad at all. We have the Victor Leader that you probably want to play every match. But no, you don't want to play every match. Like Qi'ra, I will explain later, you don't want to play Victor Leader too early in the game against Qi'ra, and I'll explain this. But most of the matches you want to play, like, besides Qi'ra. Victor Leader is really good, and this gives the power that the deck needs, +1/+1 for everything. If you have, like, in turn 5, you have, like, 7 units, and one of them is Victor Leader, so Victor Leader is giving +6/+6. This is a lot, right? And here we have the TIE Panther, like I said before. It's probably one of the best cards in the space, because can't be removed by enemy card's ability. If when you deploy Vader here is like almost GG. I would not say that is GG like 100% of the time, because they can play like Arctans, Bahaj, then you need to pass through it or something like that, but they would not defeat it with the Bahaj. Like if you use Bahaj like in the Devastating Gunship, they can try to attack here and defeat it or something like that, or Devastator, but Devastator will not do damage here. You need to pass through it like with Waylay, or maybe hitting with your another units or with your Bahaj or something like that, right? And here we have 7th Fleet Defender. This is a card that is I was not playing with it in my other lists. I just found this in the second list that I show, the first list that I show here that have the Bazines and the TIE Phantoms in the main deck. I really like this one because this is really good against like Sabine, because a good Sabine player, he will use ECL with Green Squadron or Phoenix's turn 1 to defeat your unit. Then if you're going to play a second cost 1, they will claim the initiative and will defeat it again the next turn. But with 7th is good because you avoid like Blue Leader and ECL because have shield, and Sabine can't deal with shield. So this is good, right? So now cost for you want to have one that is Clone Combat Squad, one of the best cards in this deck. This unit gets +1/+1 for each other friendly space unit. This deck is amazing in this deck because we swarm, we have a bunch of tokens, we have a bunch of space units, so I don't even need to explain more about this card, right? So now let's talk about Sideboard, one important thing about this video here. So Confiscate, when we want to put Confiscate in, and against Sabine and against Qi'ra was two good examples here. But for Sabine, it's like we know that the Darksaber, so we know the Chewbacca, and we know the Luke upgrade. So against, I'm showing Sabine, but it's not only for Sabine. It's for aggro decks that you know that they use upgrades, you know that they use pilots. And Qi'ra here is for traitorous, is for top targets and kind of stuff. So it's not just for Qi'ra. We have the Ray that can play with the same things, Entrenched. So Confiscate is really good to taking out Entrenched, take your opponent by surprise, because they put Entrenched and you say, okay, I would just, he will not defeat this unit, so okay. Then you just, okay, we'll deploy here my leader in this Entrenched unit, then I would just defeat Entrenched with Confiscate and I will attack you for a lot. So yes. Swoop down the Sabine and Qi'ra again, because why? Swoop down, you can use, like, if you have like Mercenary Gunship from turn 1 or from turn 2, you can use Swoop down to defeat Sabine right away in turn 3, and without losing your Mercenary Gunship, because you will hit for 5 and you give him -2 to Sabine, so she's attacking only 0, so you will survive. And the Qi'ra is the same thing. I think the Qi'ra is a hard match because she can just deploy and use Barrage, and is really good to her because she can just defeat everything in our board doing this. So if she ramps, you can't use Barrage before her because she have 5 resources and we only have 4. So yeah, but with Swoop Down, you can defeat Qi'ra before she can use Barrage because it's only 1. And with any no, not any unit, because we have like some units that attack only for 1, but most of our units that attack for 2 can defeat Qi'ra, because this gives +2. So you will lose your unit for sure, but it's just a cost 1 unit and 1 cost event that is defeating a Qi'ra that will use Barrage to defeat everything in the board. So the balance here is like so good to us, right? Contracted Jump Master and Eager Scout Fighter, we have these 2 in the sideboard. So we're going to put it in against Sabine and Han Solo, and I think Han Solo green and yellow, because they play with the Falcons, they play in space. So it's good to have Eager, it's good to have Contract Jump Master, because they can't pass through Contract Jump Master because it's a 2/4. They need to put a pilot, they need to bounce, or they need to use Surprise Strike or kind of stuff. Dornean Gunship is really good against mid-range and control decks. I'm showing here Ray right now, not Qi'ra, but it's the same thing, because blue don't have something to defeat this one. Like the blue villain have, because they have like the no glory only results, but the Ray don't have. Like the only card that can defeat this one is Rival's Fall. We know they have that cost for the defeat of vehicle, but most of the players is not playing with this right now. I don't think they even using in the sideboard. So yeah, because this Dornean Gunship is a 4/6. Don't die for Fell the Dragon. Don't die for Take Down. So I know sometimes the one played would not works a lot because you don't have like too many units maybe against this match, but it's not for this. It's for the 4/6. Like trying to pass through Takedown the Feather Drug is really good, because sometimes they only remove your opponent have in hand and they can't remove this, so this will survive. Maybe you can deploy your Vader here and they can't deal with this, so this is really good. And like I said, sometimes you don't have a lot of vehicles, but sometimes you have, and you would do a bunch of damage in your opponent by indirect damage. And Darth Vader, this is the difference. I think I never saw a list of this Vader Yellow Swarm with Darth Vader. And I can say, to be honest, I thought about this, and this was just like in my imagination, like Vader can be good. Vader can be good in this deck, and I know that this is weird, but I only play Vader once. I just played Vader only one time, and was in the PQ in the final, and was my last play, and I won due of that. I played Darth Vader, I defeat a Snoke, then I'll bring 3 units that cost 1 villainy, and this buffs my, I don't remember the name, but the clone combat, I think, I don't remember, that costs 4, 3, 3, that gives +1/+1 for each unit, space unit. So this buffs my unit, then makes my opponent needs to deal with this, then I'll claim, then I'll hit the base with the cost 1 unit and won the game. So yeah, Darth Vader can bring Sty Phantom, Darth Vader can bring a cost 2 and a cost 1, Darth Vader can bring a lot of stuff and it's really, really good. And I think against boss and against Qi'ra, against mid-range control decks can be really, really good to, like, after Super Laser Blast, like, you open just Super Laser Blast, you don't have nothing else, so play Vader, you bring 2 units, you bring 3 units, you bring Sty Phantom again, so your opponent needs to deal with Darth Vader, so now you have a Sty Phantom there dealing 4 damage every turn and creating more tokens, so this is good, right? So things that you need to be aware. Lurk and Sty Phantom have a situation, because Darth Vader is really, really good in Sty Phantom, like I said before, because it's a 7/7 that can't be defeated by enemy cards' abilities. But we have Confiscate in the meta right now, because a lot of decks running Confiscate in the sideboard, because Confiscate is really good. Like against Darth Vader, you just defeat a leader for only 1 resource, so this is amazing. And not just this, we have more cards that can do the same, like Bamboozle, and Bamboozle is even worse for us because they not just defeating our leader, they exhausting the Sty Phantom, so this is bad, right? And sometimes when you're playing against yellow, it's better if you don't have Bazin to see or your opponent's hand. Sometimes it's just better to deploy Vader in the ground. The good thing about the deck here is that Vader have more actions, so maybe your opponent already took the initiative, but if they don't, if you just pass, you need to deploy in the ground. Do everything that you have to do, then deploy in the ground. If they use Bamboos just to exhaust the leader, you claim the attack with Darth Vader right away or something like that. And the Confiscate, for sure, if you're playing against a deck that is not cunning, but you've seen that your opponent have 1 resource ready and they just pass, you will not deploy in a space unit. You will deploy in the ground and in hit for 5, right? And yes. So more things that you need to be aware. Overrun Barrage, that is amazing against our deck, and it's really, really bad to us because, like I said, Qi'ra, if Qi'ra's use resupply in turn 2, this is so bad to us because Barrage will happen in the turn 3, and it's really bad. Super Laser Blast in the late game is really bad to us too. If you don't have a Lurking Sty Phantom in the board, your opponent would just wipe your entire board and you don't have nothing else to do. So that's why I'm putting the Vader there, because maybe Vader can bring more lifetime to us. Supreme Leader Snoke, I think, is worse than Super Laser Blast, because Super Laser Blast wipe everything, then you can still build in again. With Snoke, you can't, because most of your units have like 1 or 2 HP, so you can't just play because Snoke is there, and it's a unit, so it will hit 6 in your base every turn, so this is really a big problem. So that's why I really love this list with Bazin and Sound with the main deck, because you need to play Bazin in the right time. Like, if your opponent going to 8 resources in the next turn and you seem that he's going to claim the initiative before you need to play Bazin to taking out Supreme Leader Snoke, to taking out the Super Laser Blast. Or if your opponent have 5 resources, he deploy Qi'ra, okay, I will play Bazin to taking out the Barrage. So you need to do this. You need to be aware of those cards. So now let's start here, a part that I like the most here, that is what to do against. So first, let's talk about Qi'ra, that is one of the most played decks right now. So we have a turn 1. You always want 2 units against Qi'ra. Not just Qi'ra, this is like for mid-range and control decks, like blue villainy decks. Because they have Path of the Dark Side, right? So you don't want to lose your only unit for Path of the Dark Side. And Invader is like worse if you lose the unit, because you will not attack in turn 2, so you will not create a token. So I know that sometimes you have to play like 2 Republic U-Wing, like and they will defeat 1. You will only take for only 1 damage in the turn 2, but you will starting to create a token and you start this swarming and you start to do something that Qi'ra can't deal with it. So yes, you always want to play 2 units. So, but Republic U-Wing is better against Qi'ra due of Inferno 4. I said that I was going to talk about this, and this Inferno 4 is like, it's a nightmare for Darth Vader decks. Because Inferno 4 can defeat First Order TIE Fighter, Inferno 4 can defeat TIE LN Fighter, and Mighty Guild TIE Fighters, but can't defeat Republic U-Wing, so that's why Republic U-Wing is so good in this specific match. So if you're going to play 2 units in turn 1, it's better to have at least 1 Republic U-Wing. But if you had a cost 1, 2-1 is good too, because probably in Inferno 4, if you play 2 units, your opponent will claim the initiative for sure. Because even if you start, because I play Republic U-Wing, you play Inferno 4, they don't play another cost 1, he will claim the initiative, and they probably will defeat a First Order TIE Fighter or the TIE LN Fighter. But when you do this, you need, I think I will show you here later, but you need, when he defeated your unit, you need to defeat Inferno 4 with your Republic U-Wing, because your Republic U-Wing don't dies for Inferno 4, and you need to attack before, because if you just attack the base, your opponent can use Pop the Dark Side right now and defeat this unit, so it's not good for you. So it's better for you to defeat Inferno 4, than if you use Pop the Dark Side, is good for you, because you will use resupply. But you already defeated the Inferno 4. You already taken out this, so will not defeat more units of you. And here is a trick play that we can do here. That is play Mining Guild TIE Fighter turn 1 with Wingman Victor 2. Because now it is a 2-3, don't dice for Inferno 4, and you create a TIE Fighter token to avoid Path of the Dark Side. So probably your opponent will defeat the TIE Fighter, then you defeat Inferno 4 with your Mining Guild. That's attack plus for 2. So like I said, you avoid the Path of the Dark Side and kind of stuff. So in turn 2, bounce or capture. This is really good against Qi'ra with Sanctioned Shadow or Geonosis Patrol Fighter, because Qi'ra had these cards. You can capture Inferno 4 if you play again in turn 2, or just bounce with Geonosis, Dr. Pershing for turn 1, and for sure Supplies Detonation for turn 2. So you can, if you just capture this or bounce this, is really good. You buy a lot of time against Qi'ra. This is amazing, right? And not just this, we have more units, like we have 7 Fleet Defender, Lincoln TIE Phantom. I don't like too much to play TIE Phantom too early against Qi'ra, because you need to deal with the Inferno 4, because if you play like just TIE Phantom right away, then he plays like another Inferno 4, is bad, because you need to deal with the Inferno 4 in the next turn, right? Because otherwise you would just will defeat the TIE Phantom really easy with the Inferno 4. Selfless Defender is a card that I like against Qi'ra because I have shields, so when she deployed, would not take damage, so the barrage in Qi'ra, she needs to do 2 damage in this 7th fleet and not just 1 like the other units, so it's kind of okay. And for sure, if you don't have another play like a Lurkin, like 7th, and like the other cards, like the Good Noses and the Bounce, Death Space Skirmisher is not that bad. Like, if it's the only card that you can play in turn 2, it's okay. You can just play this right away to maybe Qi'ra play a Supplies Technician, and you have a Purge for turn 1. So you just play Skirmisher and then exhaust the Persian, so she will not ramp this turn and will not draw a card this turn, so it's good. And something that you'll never need to do, please don't do this against Qi'ra. You will never play Victor Leader. I know Victor Leader is amazing, giving +1/+1 to all your units is really good, but you can't do this against Qi'ra, because otherwise you will just defeat everything from your board really easy. Because Think with me, if you play Victor Leader in turn 2, all of your units have +1 HP, even your token, so now your token is at 2/2. So when Qi'ra's deployed, all of your tokens will take 1 damage, right? But the token is 1/1, now it's 2/2. So now Qi'ra just needs to defeat Victor Leader. So she will use the barrage, will do 2 damage in Victor Leader, because got damaged by the Qi'ra's deploy. Then she can spread the damage in the another non-token units, and all of the tokens will die because we don't have Victor Leader anymore, and the tokens already took 1 damage by deployed Qi'ra because have 2 HP, not just 1. So don't play Victor Leader before Qi'ra's deploy. After Qi'ra's deploy, Victor Leader is amazing. Even like Qi'ra just deploy, you can just play Victor Leader right now, cause this is good, because she needs to use the barrage for 6, and 4 of this damage will be in Victor Leader, so she only have 2 more damage to spread through the order, you know, so she will not wipe your entire board. So this is good, but remember, Victor Leader always after deploy, not before. So now you need to defeat Inferno 4, like I said before. It's the situation that I said. So you play this 2 units turn 1, she play Inferno 4, she had initiative, so she will defeat this first order TIE Fighter. Then you need to defeat Inferno 4 before she can use Power of the Dark Side and the Zero Republic wing, right? So this is it. And the good thing here about Qi'ra's using Power of the Dark Side is that if she uses Power of the Dark Side to defeat your unit after you defeat Inferno 4, she will not use resupply or technician this turn. So this is really good, because this gives us one more turn, because most of the Qi'ras use resupply in turn 2, then deploying barrage turn 3. So if she didn't ramp in turn 2, only in turn 3, she will not use barrage till turn 4. So this is good to us. And even if the Qi'ra use Power of the Dark Side to defeat your unit, you can still play a cost 3 and create a TIE Fighter, so this is good. So in turn 3, if Qi'ra didn't ramp, and if you have in your hand Overwhelm Barrage, you can play 2 units, you're safe, because she didn't ramp, so next turn you will be even in the resource. So you have 5, she have 5. So if you knows that you have barrage, so you can just play any unit. Like if you have at least 1 unit that takes for 2, you can defeat Qi'ra. You can defeat Qi'ra with a deploy. Like he will deploy Qi'ra, then you can just barrage in your unit take for 2 or for 3, then defeat Qi'ra and avoid the barrage. So this is really good, right? Or you can just play Clone Combat Squadron, that is a cost 4, so and we hit more with the barrage, right? But sometimes if you have like a bunch of space units with tokens and Clone Combat Squadron, and you go to the turn 4 even with Qi'ra and the resources, I will not use barrage in this Clone Combat, because if you do, okay, maybe it's a barrage for 8 or for 7, something like that. But if you do, they will probably just, okay, no glory, only results, or fell the dragon and defeat the Clone Combat, and you don't want to lose this unit. So maybe it's better to use barrage in another unit, like that attack for 3 or take for 2. Because if your opponent use no glory in this Clone Combat, you still have the +2 to hit your opponent's base in another unit. You don't miss this damage, okay? So this is something that you need to be aware. If Qi'ra ramped, Bazine Atel can be a good card right now, because she have 5 resources and you don't. So she will deploy. Wait for Qi'ra's deploy, then use Bazine, see your opponent's hand, taking out the barrage if had. So yeah, you need to do this. Or like I said before, play the leader right away after the deploy, because like I said, Qi'ra we need to expend 4 damage in this Victor leader, and we only have 2 more to spread through your units, so she will not wipe your board with 5 resources. This is good. In the turn 4 with 5 resources, we had a barrage, like I said before, to defeat Qi'ra maybe, and we have the TIE Phantom, because maybe it's the right time to start to setting up or next turn with the deploy of Vader. Wait Qi'ra to spend their resources, cause then play TIE Phantom, cause Qi'ra can use no glory, can use the traitor or something like that, and maybe it's more safe to play TIE Phantom. Like Qi'ra and I maybe played Devastating Gunship or something like that, and didn't attack your base yet. So just play TIE Phantom. Then if the player attacks your base with Qi'ra, just claim the initiative, deploy Vader right away in TIE Phantom. Maybe it's better than just hit for 3 or hit for 4, create a token. I know that this is good in this war, but you will lose this TIE Phantom for the Devastating Gunship if your opponent claims the initiative. So maybe it's better to guarantee that you will have your Vader leader as a pilot in this TIE Phantom. Okay? So this is it. Best pilot in the best space unit, like I said before. Look in TIE Phantom with Vader. And here just what I explained, I just spoiled everything again. The no glory only results the traitors. You need to be aware of this. So wait your opponent to spend the resources, maybe claim the initiative to deploy Vader right away in the next turn. Or if you have 2 TIE Phantoms in your hand, you can play 1 this turn, or you can play the 2 units in the turn 5 with 6 resources. Like play 1 to bait him, Then he will just play No Glory, defeat it. Now he only have maybe 1 resource or 2 resources. I don't know how many times he ramps. So then you play the second TIE Phantom and you deploy Vader there and you create 2 tokens and they can't do something about it. But I know you will miss like the 5 damage this turn because you deploying Vader in a unit that is exhausted because it enters play this turn. But trust me, it's worth it. When you deploy Vader in TIE Phantoms, it's really hard for Qi'ras and for Midrands and Kotal decks deal with this, because Rival's Fall don't triggers, No Glory don't triggers, the only Devastator don't defeat TIE Phantoms, so it's really hard. Snoke don't triggers in TIE Phantoms, so we will not give the -2/-2. Triggers in TIE Phantom, triggers in the in TIE Phantom as a leader, so yeah, it's really hard, but we have some cards that can defeat it. That is Arctans, and some Qi'ras is using Arctans in the sideboard, and I think maybe in the main board, but main deck. But I think most of them is playing the sideboard at least 1 or 2, and it's not all the list. Like most of them is not playing with Arctans at all, but someone uses. So you need to be aware of this because Arctans can defeat TIE Phantom. Just remember, Arctans can't ramp with TIE Phantom because don't ramp when defeats a leader unit, so you need to be aware of this. But yeah, Arctans can defeat TIE Phantom, so stay tuned and be aware of this. What to do against Sabine now? So turn 1, you want to have 2 units, because like not always, but 2 units is good, because a good player of Sabine will use ECL turn 1 to defeat your unit. Because if you start, you play a unit, your opponent will ECL and defeat it. Then you play a second unit, then he will claim and defeat the second unit in the next turn. So this is bad, right? And never start with 1 attack unit. I know you have only the first order type and Republic U-Wing. Republic U-Wing is a 1 attack unit, but you always need to start with the 2 attack. First order TIE Fighter or TIE LN Fighter. And why do this? Like I said, a good player, a good Sabine player, he will use ACL to defeat your unit turn 1. You need to be aware of this. If your opponent is not a good player, he will not think about this, but a good player will use this. So you need to be aware because your opponent have Green Squadron, can defeat your unit and still be alive. But but Sabine don't have only Green Squadron for turn 1. Sometimes the player don't have this in hand. Sometimes have this Phoenix that is a 3/2. And I'm pretty sure that a Sabine player don't want to lose a Phoenix and ECL to defeat a first order TIE Fighter cost 1, knowing that you're going to play another cost 1 unit. Okay, so this is why you're going to play a cost 1 that attack for 2 first, because if they have Phoenix, they will not use GCL, they would just play normal without ACL. Then you play the Republic U-Wing, your opponent probably will claim, he can defeat the Republic U-Wing in the next turn, it's okay, it happens, but at least you will attack with your other unit and generate the token, okay? So yeah, another card that is really good against Sabine is Mercenary Gunship, because it's a 3/2, so Sabine don't have any unit for turn 1 that can defeat Mercenary Gunship without losing her unit. So yeah, this is really good for you. So even in the turn 2, like Blue Leader, if she wants to play Blue Leader, it's okay, we trade. So this is good too. In turn 2, Silent Fleet Defender can be good if you don't have unit anymore, because the player did the thing like ECL turn 1, claim, defeat the second unit. So Silent Fleet is good because have shields, so Sabine can't deal with this. Have the Sabine's Masterpiece that can ping damage, but needs to have at least aggression card in the board, and then probably don't have ECL anymore, so we'll play only with Time Intervention the next turn maybe. But the good thing against Sabine is Geonosis Patrol Fighter and Sanctioner Shuttle that you can capture and you can bounce. This is really good against Sabine, so yes. I don't even, like, this is really good. My top 8 against Sabine, like I just did this, and this is amazing, like amazing sample card against Sabine. You can just wipe your body. I think I did a play like that I capture and bounced at the same turn, so this is really good. And we have for sure in turn 3 then the good to me that and waylay. So you can, I personally likes to, when your opponent deploys Sabine with 4 resources, I would just pass or I just attack, create a token, do something soft to pass to wait him to play the Dark Saber. So if they play Dark Saber, I'll go, okay, no good to me that. Then if I'll pass or attack, then my opponent just attack with Sabine, don't play the Dark Saber, it's okay. Because they can just, okay, I will attack with Sabine, but I will play a K2 now. Then you just waylay. And you still can play a cost 1, or I'll upgrade a cost 1, right? So yeah, and in turn 3, if Sabine didn't place something in the space, not in turn 1, turn 2, you can just go straight ahead with cloning combat because you already have the space. Sabine can't deal with this, so it's hard to her. You will probably have like a 7-7 turn 3 or something like that, so next turn you can just use the barrage for a lot and win the game. Turn 4 is the same thing, you can use no good, overrun barrage, and not just this, you need to remember that the skirmisher to exhaust units, you know patrol, you have the shutter, you can still continue bouncing and capture things off Sabine, because she is still playing maybe cost 3 units in the next turns and not just Poe or something like that, right? So now against Cad Bane, at first I thought that maybe Cad Bane was a bad match for us, but it's not. Actually, I play against a bunch of Cad Banes in the Petron ranking and I won like most of the matches. It's not that hard like I thought it would be. Due of Typhoon, because we can just, Typhoon just breaks Cad Bane because all of the ping will be there and Typhoon don't take damage, so this is good. So you need to be aware in turn 1 to not play a cost 1 that have 2-1 HP. 1 HP, because he can just defeat it really easy, right? You can just play these, then they place a unit and defeat this unit. So always start, this is different than Sabine, right? Because in Sabine I said always start with the unit that attack for 2 but have only 1 HP. This is the opposite, you always starting with a unit that have more than 1 HP, right? So don't lose for the Cad Bane ping. You force him to use Sorkin Town, and maybe he don't want to use Sorkin Town if they play Carto Spacer, because if you play Republic E-Wing turn 1 and they play Carto Space, do 1 damage there, he can defeat it in the next turn, so maybe he will not use Sorkin Town. So if you play like another unit, you can just defeat Carto Space in the turn 2, right? And still create a TIE Fighter token the next turn. So you can use because if they play Carto Space in the Republic E-Wing dealing 1 damage there, then you play like a TIE Fighter, first order TIE Fighter. If they use Turkin Tau, you have initiative, so you can attack with your first order TIE Fighter maybe in the base, then create a token. Then if you have a token, you can exploit this to play Geonosis Patrol, bounce Carto Space, bounce Missy Hunter, bounce a Boba Fett in the ground or something like that. You need to see what the situation you're in the match, right? And for sure, I think Cad Bane is like one of the matches that I really love to play Bazine in turn 1, even if I have Space Unit in my hand. Because if I had Bazine and TIE Phantom in my hand, I would play Bazine for sure. Because I will play Bazine, then I can make him discard Carto Spacer, maybe a Mace Hunter to avoid him to play in the space. So now I'm free to play TIE Phantom in turn 2 because I know that he will not play a unit there. So my TIE Phantom will be safe, and after 1 turn without he play something in the space, TIE Phantom is safe, because now you will attack for 4, you will create a token, you have coordinate to capture if he plays the unit in space, you have a token to exploit to bounce a unit that he plays in space, so TIE Phantom will be there forever, he can't just defeat it. I know, he can use Waylay, but he can't defeat it. So this is everything that I just explained here. We need to be aware against Cad Bane because some lists is running with Bamboozle in the main deck, because they can just use this for free, so be aware of that. So if, like I said before, if you're playing against cunning decks and you don't use Bazine to see your opponent's hand, you can't deploy your leader in space. You need to deploy in the ground because you don't know if they had the Bamboozle in hand, right? And you just don't want to lose your leader. Against Han Solo, it's kind of weird because we had the Han Solo yellow and the green one. I really think No Good Smith and Death Space Qi'ra is like amazing in this specific match, because if you make your opponents, like, if they only have 1 card in hand because they use the ability to go to 6, they deploy and they use Skirmisher or No Good Smith Dad, maybe they don't have a play for this turn. because maybe he had only a cost 7 card in his hand. Maybe he doesn't have the Millennium Falcon from Smogo. So if they don't play something this turn, you probably won the match, because they need to play something this turn. And I think the Falcon 5/5 with ambush is really good in this specific match against us. You need to be aware of this. But I think the yellow one, the yellow version, is more hard to Darth Vader yellow. Like the Han Solo yellow is worse to us than the green one, because the green one goes to play Millennium Falcon with the pilots. You can just like bounce or capture if they put like Luke Skywalker and Millennium Falcon as a pilot, or Chewbacca. You can just capture. If you capture Millennium Falcon with Chewbacca, is like really good. So most of the players don't want to spend the 6 damage that they can do with Millennium Falcon in your like 1/3 unit. They would just hit 6 in your face. Then this give you the opportunity to attack with your 1/3, create a token. Now you have coordinated, then you can capture Millennium Falcon. This is really good. But you need to be aware of this Millennium Falcon and with the capture, because this Millennium Falcon have the ability to, this unit enters play ready. It's not a one player, so if you capture this Millennium Falcon, your opponent just bounce or use Blue Leader and the fixed shuttle, Millennium Falcon will back ready, will not back exhausted, so you need to be aware of this. So against Han Solo, we have the Eager Squad fight to defeat the Falcon right away. Not just this Falcon, we have another Falcon that is for the pilot thing, kind of stuff. So it's really good for us, and you still can, like, if they defeated your unit and you didn't attack yet, you can play Eager, you attack, so you can create a TIE Fighter token. This is good. And you always try to start with 2 units with 2 attack. And why? Because they can play Millennium Falcon turn 1 and defeat your units. So if you start with Republic U-Wing or Mining Guild TIE Fighter, they will defeat one of those and still have 3 HP in Falcon. But if you start with TIE LN Fighter or First Sword, like 1 of each or 2 of each, and if they defeat it, you probably will defeat one of those, Falcon will have only 2 HP, and you need to defeat it right away before he can put any pilot there. You will defeat this unit, you will create a token, they will play another Falcon, then you exploit this token to bounce the second Falcon, something like that. Now he just loses a turn without doing nothing, right? So yeah, like I said here before, he can play Chewbacca or something like that. So what to do against? Now I would just pass like really quickly here against some leaders like Anakin Skywalker. I think the match is really good to us. Darth Vader just is overwhelmed against Anakin. Like Anakin can't, like, it's really hard to Anakin because they need to go to space, and with Colossus they are playing with one less card, and they need to do like R2 and C-3PO to draw a card. So Anakin will play more often in the ground, and you can take control of the space really easy because you have the bounce, you have the capture thing. So it's really hard to Anakin handle the space. And so yeah, and in the deploy you already did a lot of damage, so probably Anakin is hitting for a lot, so you need to keep a no good to me there. You need to keep a barrage in your hand because you'll probably have a clone combat like huge on the turn 5. Then you could just barrage and defeat Anakin or something like that. So against Rey is the same thing. I think the list of Rey is not playing with Concord down anymore because it's not good for another matches, but it's really good against us, but it's not against all of the other meta. So the match is kind of easy. You just need to be aware of the blue leader thing. Some lists use the restored arc for turn 1, but it's not all the lists. The restore thing in the ground, you can just bounce, you can just capture, and you can avoid a lot of restore thing in the ground. And if Rey decided, okay, I will just play full ground with the restore, you will win because she will heal a lot, but we will do more damage because she's not trying to stop your space. Queen Lavos is kind of weird because sometimes you just won really easy, sometimes it's really hard to win. Side Panther can be good in this specific match if they're not playing too much in the space, but I side out most of the times. But he have like the thing about to force throw and kind of stuff, but it's really easy to counter this, I think, because you can, if they play Grogu turn 1, you can just capture, you can just bounce to avoid the force throw or kind of stuff. and start in continue doing your stuff in space. Killing Votes don't defeat your units turn 1 because Killing Votes list is not using turn 1 cost 1 units anymore. Maybe we can see this Killing with cost 1 units back because we've seen more Darth Vader yellows out there, so maybe this back. But right now, most of the Krillins don't use cost 1, so you're safe to play like 2 units turn 1, right? And Han Solo thing that's about is, I think it's the same thing as Rey. That's about like they don't have too much to deal with you, and it's worse than Rey for you. Like, it's better for you, but it's worse than Rey because they don't have resource. So if they go into the ground, it's okay. You will not be more aggressive than me, so it's okay. And you will not restore like Rey, so I would just beat you like really fast if you don't try to stop my space, right? And if he's going to play like, I know that he can play that Poe Dameron turn 2 that goes as a token 4/5 in space. If they do this, you can just bounce or capture and will defeat the unit because it's a token, so it's really easy to pass through it. So I don't know, I think the match is really hard to Han Solo. So now the sideboard. Against Qi'ra, I'm taking out no good team that and Willy. I know that Willy is good because we can bounce the Devastator, we can bounce the Snoke, but I think it's too conditional. It's just for the late game. You don't want to use Willy, and not even Super Late's Technician. I think against Super Late's Technician, you want to bounce with your unit or capture with Shuttle. You don't want to spend 3 resources to just Willy and don't play something this turn. Against Qi'ra, you can't do this. You need to be the overwhelming in the match. You need to be the aggressor, and if you use Willy turn 2, you will not be the aggressor. And like I said before, Victor is not that good against Qi'ra, only after the deploy, so maybe you can sideboard this if you don't want to sideboard Willy or something like that. No good team that I think is really good against like Walker, but it's just for the late game, and you don't want to go there. You just need to win before that, so that's why I put it out. Against Sabine, I put it out TIE Phantom. We put in like 2 Confiscates in one of that 2/4 Sentinel in one of that 4/1 Ambush, so it's 4 cards. So I take now 3 TIE Phantoms in 1 Cloning Combat Squad. Like I said before, Clone Combat can be good if Sabine is playing only in the ground, but this will not happen too often. So if you have like the Sentinel and the 4/1 Ambush is better for this match. And TIE Phantom is not that good because it's just a 2/2. She can defeat it really easy with the leader with the ECL, so that's why we put it out. Against Han Solo, TIE Phantom, I do the same thing. I just put it out because he can defeat really easy with Falcons. So now go with 2 trick plays, and this video is taking too long, right? It's almost on 1 hour, but we're finishing. The trick plays here: avoid losing units. So like I explained before, you can use the pilot here to avoid losing your units. So if you're playing against Qi'ra and your opponent playing Inferno Fortune 1, you can play Mining Guild and Wingman Victor 2 there. So now it's a 2/3 and you create a token. So you avoid Power Dark Side and don't lose the unit for Inferno 4. But if you're playing against Sabine and they just play Green Squadron without ECL, they just play there, exhausted. You can play Republic U-Wing and play the Wingman Victor 2 there. So now it's a 2/4, don't die for Green Squadron or other like Phoenix or kind of stuff. You can even defeat Phoenix and be alive. Like, this is good, right? Bounce turn 2 for only 1 resource. This is good. This is a tricky play that you can do sometimes. You know, most of the players is not expecting this with the Geonosis Patrol. Because why? Let's pretend that I play Mercenary Gunship, my opponent play Inferno 4. Then I will claim the initiative. I will defeat this Inferno 4 before he can use Power Dark Side in my Mercenary Gunship. So we just trade here. Then maybe he play a Technician. Okay, now I will create a token with Vader because I attack with Mercenary Gunship. So now I can play 2 units that cost 1. Or, to be honest, 2 units cost 1 and turn 2 will not happen too often, but this happens more often. Like, this happens all the time, that you can play a cost 1 and Wingman Victor 2 turn 2. So this is your board. You have 2 TIE Fighters and 1 Republic U-Wing. So what we can do? You still have 1 resources, right? Because you just played, you create a TIE Fighter, you play a Republic U-Wing, and the cost 1 pilot. So you still have 1 resource. So you can exploit the 2 TIE Fighters to play for only 1 resource, Geonosis Patrol, and bounce Technician. So now you have 2 units for turn 2, for turn 3 now. Then he's a guarantee that it will attack and will creating more token in this one thing, and your opponent will not have technician there to ramp. So this is really good, right? Capture your unit. Yeah, this is something that is really good against control matches and against mid-range decks, because let's pretend Qi'ra played Illustrators in our Victor Leader. So what we can do? We can defeat it with Bahaj, we can defeat it with our units, we can play another Victor Leader to try to not make him defeat our units with Victor Leader, or we can just bounce our Victor Leader back to play again. But one thing that is really good is to play Shuttle, because if we play Shuttle with Coordinate and we capture the Victor Leader, the traitors will got defeated and go to discard. So Victor Leader will be captured under our Shuttle. So if our opponent use like Overrun Barrage or Super Laser Blast, take down any removals in this Shuttle, we will take our Victor Leader back to us. So even if like 8 resources we have like captured our Victor Leader and your opponent just Super Laser Blast, he will wipe our board, but Victor Leader will back from the capture exhausted in our board. So we take it back. And your opponent needs to defeat your unit sometimes, and so this is good. Like it's like a backup that you have. Like, okay, you can defeat here, but if you do, I will still have a Victor Leader. So this is amazing. And use Eager to create token. Like I explained before, you can just use Eager. Maybe your opponent had initiative, they defeated your unit with Power Dark Side. Maybe you have Mercenary Gunship, your opponent playing Inferno 4, but they had initiative, they started the turn with Power Dark Side, then you just play Eager, defeat the Inferno 4, and create a token. So it's okay, like we trade the units, we both expend 2 resources, but now I have a 1/1 token, you don't, you probably will not use Power Dark Side to defeat this token, so I'm safe because I can play another unit, so in the next turn, so this is good. So things that you don't do it. Don't do this, please. Don't do it. Never use Barrage and Mercenary Gunship, because if you use Barrage and Mercenary Gunship, you probably will not have 4 resources to take it back if your opponent take control of it. So he will attack for 5 and he can defeat your units. He can swing 5 in your base. And it's the same thing. Don't deploy Vader and Mercenary Gunship, because your opponent can use the action and take control of the Mercenary Gunship with your leader on it. So yeah, you need to be aware of this. Never expend resources before attacking with it, because it's the same thing about the Barrage. Like if you spend like your resources, your opponent knows that you don't have the resources to take it back, so he will take control of your Mercenary Gunship and you don't have resources to take it back. So be aware of this, don't do this. Don't play only one unit against blue villainy if you don't have initiative. Like I said before, sometimes you play Mercenary Gunship, your opponent will play Inferno 4, but it's okay. You claim initiative, you defeat Inferno 4, you create a token, you're safe against popular signing kind of stuff. But if your opponent plays first, you can't play just one unit. I know sometimes you mulligan and you don't have, but if you have the opportunity for playing 2 units, play 2 units. You don't want to play only 1 unit if you don't have initiative. And remember the play, like I showed them. Play Mining Guild with the upgrade, then create a token, so you avoid to losing your Mining Guild for the Inferno 4. You already created another token, so you're safe against Power Dark Side and Merciless Contest. So be aware of this. Never deploy Vader against blue if your opponent still have 6 resources, because your opponent can play Rival's Fall. So I know, don't work anti-Phantom, but any other units that you deploy, your opponent can just Rival's Fall and defeat your lead, and you don't want this, right? Never deploy Vader in space against red if your opponent still have 3 resources, because they can play Disabling Fang Fighter and just defeat your leader really easy with a 3/2 space unit cost 3, so be aware of this. Never deploy Vader in space against yellow if you didn't see your opponent hand with the Zane. And why this? Because yellow had, like I said before, had the Bamboozle, so even Cad Bane is running Bamboozle. So if you don't see your opponent's hand, don't deploy in space. And against yellow, like almost all of the yellow decks is safe to deploy in the ground. Not against Quinlan because they have the Plokun, but Vader's good because you have more actions than your opponent, so maybe he already took the initiative, or maybe he's just passing with like 1 or 2 resources because they have bamboozle in hand and is waiting for you to deploy in the space, so you just deploy in the ground. Then if he uses bamboozle to exhaust your little, just okay, claim initiative, then hit for 5 the next turn right away. So yeah. But if you use Bazine and you say, okay, he doesn't have bamboozle and he don't have nothing that I need to be aware of, I would not make him discard a card because maybe he can draw bamboozle, and then I would just deploy in the space, create 2 tokens, and hit for a lot. Never play Victor Leader before Qi'ra's deploy. This is the same thing that I explained before. You need to be aware of this because when you use Victor Leader and then your opponents deploy, all of your units will die due of this Victor Leader buff in them because you will give him +1 HP. The U-Wing is a 1/3, now it's a 2/4, so it will take 2 damage, so it's more easy to Qi'ra to defeat this unit. All of the tokens would die when Victor Leader got defeated, so this is bad for you. So this is it, guys. This is everything that I had here for this deck test, for this master guide from Vader Yellow. And this is me with the mat of the play mat of the champion from the Planetary qualifier that I won yesterday. What are you guys thinking about all of this? Sit here in the comment. You guys will try to play with this deck. I really think this deck is really good in this specific meta. We might see Quinlan, Stark, and Sounds playing now with cost 1 events. We might see Qi'ra's back with Snoke in the main deck to deal with this deck. We need to be aware of how this meta will change. But this is it. This is everything that I can explain here about this deck. I will post gameplay with the list that I played. And that's it. See you in the next video.